Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Great Quarter Gals here on FreightWaves TV. This is our show where we highlight the incredible women doing incredible things in the freight and logistics industry. Myself, Kaylee Nix, here with my lovely co-host, Grace Sharkey, as always. Grace, super stoked for this episode because this is, once again, another bucket list guest of ours that we finally have on today.
100%. And it's one we've been kind of putting out there, meditating, hoping that would come around, and happy to do so. And I think it's perfect time to ask a lot of really great questions to Robin. So excited for today, for sure.
Absolutely. Of course, having a woman lead the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, one of the leading agencies, the leading agency for truck transportation on the federal government side, is incredible. And now having her here as a guest, as you mentioned, is something that we've been working towards. So we are very honored and very excited to welcome FMCSA Administrator Robin Hutcheson to the show. Grace, before we get there, let's talk a little bit about the future of Freight Festival, because starting today, we are 7 days out. We are just 1 week away from F3. Like, the excitement is like I'm here. It's almost full of me right now.
Yeah, I actually started packing last night. That's how excited I am, and that's how much I'm pre-planning this thing. So it's going to be just loads of fun. I haven't been to Chattanooga in almost like a year now at this point, and excited to see the town, but not only see the town, just see it full of all of our freight friends out there, from the tech companies we talked to carriers, to shippers. It's going to be a blast, and I'm excited for everyone's coming out. Reach out to us, let us know. I'd love to meet everyone, as many people as possible, but I am, it feels like Christmas, but coming a little bit earlier.
Absolutely. My LinkedIn DMs are open. My LinkedIn requests are open, and I'm ready to meet everyone who I didn't maybe necessarily have the chance to say hey to at Future of Supply Chain in Arkansas. I promise I will make sure to shake your hand and say hey to you during Future of Freight Festival here in Chattanooga.
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's crazy how even those 2 days went, how quickly they went. So at least we get an extra third day here to catch a couple more faces for sure.
Exactly. So if you haven't gotten those tickets yet, go on over to live.freightwaves.com and get them in while you still have the chance. Grace, I'd like to now welcome our honored guest of the day. As I mentioned before, we've got the administrator of the FMCSA, Robin Hutcheson, joining us. Administrator Hutcheson, thank you so much for taking the time to be here on our show and for the work that you're doing to lead FMCSA right now. It's not an easy job, for sure.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Kaylee and Grace, I'm really honored to join you, and it's quite something to be on a bucket list for guests. I really am honored to be here, and I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, it's not every day that we get to speak to, of course, women in this industry, but women that are holding such a strong and impressionable title, right? And that's what's really exciting today is, I'm sure this week in total, you've been very busy with things on your table, and thank you for taking the time to reach us and talk with us and talk with everyone that watches the show as well.
So let's dive in, starting with a little bit of conversation, just kind of about the general state of FMCSA right now. Of course, the agency is very busy all the time, but when we're talking about policy making, goal setting standards, we're about a month into the fourth quarter of 2022 right now. Where are you guys sitting from overall broad policy goals right now?
Always in the first question, I feel like I want to back up for just a moment and say very publicly that how grateful I am to be in this position, in this moment, in this agency, because there is this, and I know you feel it too, there is this bright spotlight on the trucking and motor coach industries right now. And that spotlight came about mostly through what happened during COVID. I think when people don't have their delivery, when they thought they were going to have their delivery, they suddenly start to pay attention to, how do things get delivered and why is this late? And the people are the engine that make that happen. And so to be in this position right now with this broad awareness of the importance of what we all do in this industry it's very exciting for me. In my time at FMCSA so far, I began in the deputy position, and now I'm the administrator, which is great. but I'm learning so much and seeing so much about the dedication, what it takes to drive a commercial motor vehicle, the men and women of this trucking industry. I know we're going to talk a lot about women in the industry later. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm continuously reminded that every time we see a truck on a road, there's a person inside that truck. And I literally look, I know I shouldn't take my eyes off the road, but I literally look at people. When I'm driving and I see someone who's this essential worker, I'm inclined to see who that person is and really see the person. And that's really the basis for the policy work, is understanding the importance of the industry, the opportunity we have before us, the people that drive this industry, and I'll say, safety, because the safety of the women and men who are in this industry is really our path to one of the ways we can strengthen our supply chains and keep people safe. It is really just a little bit on the policy and where we are, and to make sure I answer your question. A lot of great work that is setting us up for some success here. And it's hard work, but one is the bipartisan infrastructure law passed by Congress. Is historic investments, including both grants and formula funds that go out the door from us at FMCSA, but also a research agenda and policy drive behind what we're doing that we didn't have before. So that creates a really great moment for us. And then also just in terms of the policy, we have a national roadway safety strategy. It comes from the top. Secretary Buttigieg is highly engaged in this topic. He himself announced this last January. We are implementing parts of that. And it really just puts the value on life, that no one should lose their lives on America's roadway. 0 is the right number of people who should die. And that's really driving our work and shaping our work. So, as I said, just a really exciting time and a privilege to be in this seat right now.
And a lot of the work that you've done already, Robin, has been focused on that safety aspect, which, I mean, at the end of the day, we are talking about an industry that has minimum 80,000 pound bullets really running down the roads every single day. And so I'm happy that that's one of the main focuses that you have and have continued to have through your time with the DOT and everything else. And I'm interested, what got you so focused on safety? Why has that been the top priority for you? And what are you hoping to maybe focus on in the safety arena in this position over time?
I've been in transportation for about 25 years in various positions, and I've worked with a lot of different modes, and safety's been this thread in my career. I was a consultant for a long time. I was a transportation director for Salt Lake City, and I was a public works director in a larger city, Minneapolis. And then I joined, sorry for that, that's background that we all hear when we're working virtually. I began my time in the Biden-Harris administration in the Office of the Secretary as the Deputy Assistant Secretary for Safety Policy. So it was my job to understand, the safety priorities of our secretary, and to turn that into policy and action. The most prominent thing that I worked on was the National Roadway Safety Strategy. And that really led me to this position where I'm sitting here, because roadway safety is a crisis. Safety matters in all of our modes. We've had great success in some of our other modes, FAA, for example, where safety is just part of the culture. We need to really learn those lessons and take it throughout the entire DOT. And for us at FMCSA, before I came here, we were already a safety-driven, safety mission organization, and an organization that wasn't ever going to accept that roadway deaths could just simply happen. So I'm already joining a team at FMCSA that is so strong in this area, and that's really exciting for me.
I love that, and love knowing that safety, which is, the middle letter in FMCSA, is there and is such a huge high priority for you guys. It is nice to know that you have that history and that mission is furthered by your history. I want to touch a little bit on some of what FMCSA is doing, maybe outside of the safety arena right now. You guys recently announced the setup and the announcement of a Women in Trucking Advisory Board, specifically for FMCSA. And of course, this is a great quarter, gals. We highlight women from all aspects of the industry. So this is something that we were immediately interested in. There's a bunch of different representation on that board, everyone from drivers to trainers to folks who have been in the industry for decades to people who are newcomers to the industry. Talk to us a little bit about the motivation behind building this board and trying to understand a little bit more of what a woman's role in truck transportation is.
The Women of Trucking Advisory Board, it was like a gift given to us in the bipartisan infrastructure law. It is congressionally mandated. It is something we are excited to be able to do. We are very focused on preparing for our kickoff meeting, which is coming up soon. It is a key initiative in the bipartisan infrastructure law, and it is also part of the Biden-Harris Trucking Action Plan, which really brings focus to drivers. And that plan is also about job quality and recruitment. We know that currently only about 7% of drivers are women. There is so much opportunity here, but we have to understand what the barriers are first if we're going to capitalize on that opportunity. And that's just drivers. Women have and should have a very strong role throughout this entire industry, whether you're a driver or you're working through brokerage, or whether you're working at the dock, or whether you're working and there are so many ways that women can be in this profession and be successful. But hearing from them firsthand is essential. We have to hear from women firsthand. We've already heard a lot from women about their safety issues, including sexual violence and harassment. It plagues women in the industry, and I have to think that is a barrier to entry. We're going to learn more about that. This board will help women pursue careers in trucking, expand scholarship opportunities, enhance training, mentorship, education, outreach, and we're really looking forward to getting rolling with this first inaugural meeting coming up soon. We announced it in August 29th. I will be the first to say we were sure we were going to have our first meeting in September or October. Come to find out that we have a number, five of the women are current drivers. They have contracts, they have responsibilities, and we can't just ask them to shift everything around to join us at the drop of a hat. So we are looking at November, but I feel really good about that decision because this is an equity issue. We need to give them the time they need to make the arrangements to get to the table with us, with their colleagues. The members come from 11 different states. They work for small, medium, and large trucking companies and as independent owner operators. They work in nonprofit organizations. They work in business associations. They work in higher education. They come from a range of backgrounds with different points of view on the challenges, and we are really looking forward to hearing more from them.
It's funny you bring that up, and that's a huge barrier, right? Is being able to have that work-life balance to help, of course, continue what you love doing. And you're right, a lot of women in this industry do love to give back, but also stay on the road and continue to drive. So you got a barrier right there that you're already working on. Is there any barriers to women coming into this industry that are already on your list of things to focus on that you're already working on attacking today, even prior to having these meetings with the Women in Trucking Board?
I will say that we have some research underway that is based on a survey of not just women, but women, men, and minorities who are drivers. We have research underway that will help us understand some of these biggest barriers that will complement the anecdotal conversations that we are having. And I mentioned some of the issues, challenges about raising a family. I didn't mention before, but I'll add to that, challenges about raising a family. We are hearing about the sexual harassment and safety issues. I want to make a small plug here and say that the challenges are inextricably linked to our challenges with truck parking. Yeah. So a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Secretary Buttigieg kicked off, and I participated in, as did the acting administrator for the Federal Highway Administration, a truck parking coalition meeting. Over 300 participants there, recognition of the issues that are before us, and a commitment to make it better. A couple really big grants that went out to a few states, some smaller grants that went out to support technology. We're making progress, but we know there's a lot more to do. We know that women have shared with us that parking is where they feel the least safe and secure. So more parking, better lit, more amenities and features. These two issues I think we're going to hear. I'm open to what we're going to hear from the women on our board, but I anticipate hearing that these two issues are inextricably linked.
That's 100% true. And obviously, there's a ton of advocacy groups in this industry, thinking specifically of groups like OIDA, who do a ton of work trying to get issues like truck parking up in front of people who are responsible for making policy and allocating funds to help fix those issues. One thing that I really want to touch on, Robin, that you mentioned is not just the fact that this Women in Trucking board does things for women in the industry, but a lot of it revolves around the intersectionality of the industry as well. Because if you're a woman driver, life's hard. If you're a woman driver who happens to be a minority, life's really hard. Are you guys looking at trying to address any of those intersectional issues, intersectional discrepancies that happen between drivers, maybe who are women and women of color, or who are women and maybe disabled but still looking for a fulfilling career in truck transportation? And what type of opportunities maybe could be coming on the future horizon to address some of those intersectionality issues?
Oh, that is such a good question. And the answer is yes, absolutely. And this is all couched in the Department of Transportation's strategic goals. Those include safety, equity, climate, economic strength, and innovation. The issues that we work on at FMCSA, we are a safety-driven organization. We intersect with all of those. We sit at the intersection of these goals, and there is now an equity action plan for the Department of Transportation. We sit and are very active on that action plan. There's also a gender justice plan that also exists from the Department of Transportation. So that really gives us a nice frame that will guide our work with respect to gender equity, which is definitely what we're talking about here, but equity in all its forms. We will definitely be addressing that as just part of our daily work.
One topic that we talk about a lot here on this show, and especially for the equity purpose, like bringing more women up into these organizations, guiding them along the way, is mentorship, right? The ability for them to have someone to look up to kind of guide them and hold their hand in a way, really, to the career goals that they're hoping for. How have you had a mentor in your past that's helped you get to this role that you're in today?
I have many mentors. I don't know if you find yourself doing this too, but I feel like I collect them.
Yeah.
Find someone who helps you understand, like my best mentors help me understand me and give me confidence to push forward. I've always worked in a male-dominated industry. Transportation has been male-dominated. I started in 1995. Only woman in the room. Very frequently. I started working for a transportation engineering firm. That was common. But the first mentor I had was a man in that company who supported my growth and development and who invested in me, provided me with the opportunity for coaching. I grew a lot in that organization. understood my skills and abilities, and really took that experience with me everywhere I went. I've had so many great women mentors as well. And I am a mentor to women. They seem to find me, and I say yes every time. And they come from all parts of the transportation industry. And this is the pay it forward moment for all the men and women who have invested in me along the way, help me understand myself, help me know my skills and abilities, help me know a little bit, my own power. This is what I will do for other women. And this is like not an open call to your listeners, so I'm a little overwhelmed.
Really, the emails start rolling in. Yeah,
with me laughing like, Robin, you can't be careful, Robin. But I do invest in other colleagues everywhere I can. Women often they need something a little bit different. They need to know, yes, you can do that job. Yes, you should apply for that job. Yes, we can make accommodations for you and your family. Yes, you should apply. Yes, you are capable. And I find that women, they doubt themselves more frequently. And they need to hear from other women and men, too, who have a part in this as well.
This is us sitting here saying, yes, you can.
Yes.
Take a show that was called Great Quarter Guys, all about finance, and flip it completely on its head and make it about highlighting women in the industry and end up talking to the director of the FMCSA in less than a year's time. Grace?
Yes.
We did that. We did it.
Yes, we can, and yes, we did, right?
Great job. For women everywhere. Great job.
Oh my
Absolutely, Robin. So we've got just a couple minutes left. So I really want to ask you very quickly about those barriers to entry. And obviously, the Women in Trucking Advisory Board, FMC as a whole, is working on breaking those down. What do you see as that biggest barrier to entry to women that's really holding them back from finding a dominating and fulfilling career in truck transportation?
I think we're going to learn a lot about this when we convene these amazing women on the Women of Trucking Advisory Board. I will speculate in advance of hearing more, and it's not that we haven't talked with women, we have. And I did a great ride-along with a woman named Carmen Anderson, and I learned so much on that ride-along, and I can't wait to do another one. Just for example, we're having a lot of conversations, but we're going to learn a lot more by convening this board. But I'm going to speculate and say that women probably don't know that this is available to them, that there are whole sectors of this economic, the ecosystem here, that are available to them, that it's not a monolith of industry, that there are different ways that they can enter this industry that will work for whatever individual circumstance that they have. I think women likely think that it's hard to have a family and be in this industry. And I think that it is concerning, very concerning to hear that there may be a reputation for a lack of safety and security, and that needs to change.
100%. Robin, we are so looking forward to seeing what else comes out of the Women in Trucking Advisory Board specifically, and FMCSA coming up to round out the rest of the year. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. It's a great privilege to have you, and we really just look forward to seeing what else comes out of the agency.
Kaylee and Grace, this was really fun. Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm happy to talk with you anytime you guys want. And good luck with your future of Freight Festival. Sounds exciting. Thanks again.
So, Grace, we're still looking forward to that Future of Freight Festival coming up in just about 7 days. I think this time next week, we'll be wrapping up our first set of stage experiences, getting ready to head out into the Chattanooga area for our first Chattanooga experiences. Is there anything that you're really looking forward to during F3 at all?
First off, the speakers are absolutely amazing. I was looking at the agenda again yesterday, and I not only am excited for my own chat with Chuck Price of AI Kinetics on autonomy, but just I can't wait to. it sucks because I'm not gonna be able to sit down and watch all of them, but I can't wait to watch them all again in the over once they're all done. But all the speakers are absolutely great, and then on top of that, all of the events. Like, I'm a big zoo and aquarium fan, so the fact that we have like an aquarium event going on, that's super fun to me. The concerts, of course, I'm excited to be a part of and watch as well. So. Yeah, I got good walking shoes. That's for sure. That's been packed.
Bring your walking shoes, bring your caffeine. You're going to need it. 3 days absolutely full of experiences, excitement, and etc. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us today for this episode of Great Quarter Gals. Because of F3, we won't have an episode next week, but you can catch us again that second week of November. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and we will talk to y'all in just a few weeks.
1, 2, 3.